Hey, what's going on, YouTube Nation? I'm here doing a video today with my sister. What is your page?
Trey Hearns.
That's her page for those of y'all who want to go visit her. Forgive the makeup look. I'm not really wearing much makeup today, so just bear with me. We're going to be doing a video today discussing memes. So I'll let my sister go ahead and take over.
So how this works is, you know how you be on Facebook and people be having all these different sayings on Facebook, and that's what we're going to be talking about. So I'm going to pull one up real quick, and we're just going to talk about it. We're going to try to make this video a 10-minute video. So this one says, sometimes the hardest pill to swallow comes from a prescription you wrote. Sometimes the hardest pill to swallow comes from a prescription you wrote. So what do you think that means?
I sometimes think it means that we are in control of our own life and our own choices, and sometimes the choices we make will basically have to be the decisions we have to live with. When I was a kid, I used to always hear my dad say, "You must lay in the bed you make," and I completely understand what he means now as an adult. We are in control of our life and our destiny, and most of the things that we're going through in our life, especially in our adulthood, we are in control over, and we've caused. And so I do believe that that's what that means. You know, the hardest pill to swallow ain't normally what someone did to you. It's normally, you know, how you reacted to that situation.
So for me, how I see it is like this. I was telling a group of women this a while back, that a lot of people, they want to experience the ride, the wild ride for themselves. So if you're driving down the street and you're trying to get to some place, and the signs tell you exactly where to go. So if the sign says your exit is 287, then you need to exit 287. If you pass 287, that means you're getting ready to have a problem. So the signs warn you and they caution you where to go. So when you get into relationships, like I see women do it all the time, they get into a relationship with a man and say the man goes off one time on them. You know what I'm saying? That right there is the warning sign that there's more to come. And if you keep playing with this man, you're going to see him do all kind of stuff. So you can't say, well, I didn't know that was in him. How do you not know when he cussed you out at the family barbecue in front of your whole entire family? See, I heard someone say that however a man treats you in front of your family, if he cussed you out in front of your family, he beating you behind closed doors. And there's a lot of women that get themselves into these bad relationships and they already get married and they already have kids by a person. If a person punch you in the mouth while you got one kid, don't continue to keep having kids thinking that kids are going to change the situation. So a lot of times when you get yourself in these bad situations, it's normally because the prescription that was wrote was by your hands.
Yes, I just want to add a little bit to that. That's completely true. I hear a lot of times men and women both will say that they saw a red flag, but then if you notice, the thing that they say immediately behind it is, but I didn't pay it no attention. I saw the red flag, but I didn't pay it no attention. Mm-hmm. I saw the red flag, but I didn't think much of a big deal. Red flag serves as warning signs. So when you see them, don't let anybody guilt you into staying and dealing with it. I don't believe in struggle love. I tell people that all the time. I actually had someone get mad at me because I said I don't believe in struggle love. I don't. That's not love. If you see these warning signs, you need to make an exit.
So the next one is, it says, y'all gotta learn how to be done with people. Not mad, not bothered, not throwing shade, just done. What is that to you?
Basically, I think that means is that there's nothing wrong with being done with people. A lot of times you'll hear people tell you to forgive somebody and forgive and forgive and forgive. I do believe in forgiveness, but I believe forgiveness is a process. And I believe that in order to forgive someone, that person has to admit their wrongdoing. And to me, you know, I'm not really a religious person, but there's a passage in the Bible that says, you know, once someone causes dissension among their brethren, you go to them once, you let them know. You go to them twice, you let them know. And after that, you be done with them. The Bible is telling you to write people off. So if you're around someone who's continuing to, do things you don't like, they belittle you, they put you down, they embarrass you in front of people, they always try to one-up you, they're a very toxic person. In my opinion, you do have the right to cut them off. You don't have to feel bad about it. You don't have to, like she said, throw shade. You don't have to make a big production. You don't have to do a big write-up on Facebook that we do nowadays. None of that's needed. Just cut them off.
See, what I have to say about that is that we have been taught in religion to forgive. And there's nothing wrong with forgiving. I believe that forgiveness is for you. So when you forgive a person, that don't mean that you got to go kick it with them again. Especially say like a situation, you have a girlfriend that sleeps with your husband. You understand what I'm saying? Don't be like, well, I forgive her for what she done to me. Forgive her, but be done with her. You ain't got to get on Facebook and say, me and my husband at the park, and I hope you hoes don't take them. You ain't got to throw shade. Just block the girl off your social media site. For some reason, we like holding on to people. I don't know what the purpose is. I don't know why we do it. But we love holding on to people. I don't know if it's because of the fact that people don't want to burn bridges. Like, you think you're going to need them people? I heard, what's that woman? Her name is Iyanla Vanzant. Yeah, she said that the best thing to do with some people is to leave them right where you found them. If you found them at the store, leave them at the store. I remember when we was kids, my mom used to tell us when we would see stray animals, she'd be like, leave them right there. I'd be like, Mom, but he's homeless. She said, leave him right there. And one time we had a cat, they mean that black cat we had in Chili Willy. We fed Chili Willy, and Chili Willy didn't know how to leave. Chili Willy used to be inside of our house, and me and my sister be in there playing dolls, and Chili Willy used to jump down off the bed, and we didn't know how the cat even got in the house.
He took his claws and got on my mom's curtain and was doing that shit all the way down. That's what she.
You understand what I'm saying? And all this stuff happens because we don't know how to cut people off. When people do you wrong, and I say this saying all the time, this is a saying that I made up, that when a person hurts you and they say sorry and you don't fool with them, even though they said sorry, it's because sometimes you need time to process sorry. Let me process your sorry.
And another thing y'all have to remember is sometimes sorry ain't enough. Sometimes you can do something so wrong and so catastrophic to someone and cause them such emotional damage that sorry is actually an insult. So once again, forgiveness is a process, and giving someone time to process your sorry, because like I said, it sometimes is not enough. And if that person chooses to go ahead and let you back into their life, I heard someone say the best sorry is a changed behavior. So if you want to prove to that person that you're really sorry, you need to come with the changed behavior.
Mm-hmm. So this last one is, and we're going to wrap this video up. This one says, don't compare your children to others. There's no comparison between the sun and the moon. They shine when it's their time.
True. Sometimes, and I'm going to touch on a real touchy subject, but sometimes, as many as y'all don't think that this is possible, sometimes if you have children and they have, different fathers, you do have some parents that will treat that child according to how she cared for their father or how she loved their father. So you will hear kids, they're adults now, but they will say, my mom loved my brother more than me. My mom treated my sister differently simply because they had different fathers. And you had the father she didn't like. So she was always saying, why can't you be more like your brother? Why can't you be more like your sister? Your brother's going to this college. How come you can't go? Your sister's over here doing it, and you will get compared. That is the worst thing you can ever do to a child, because there's a saying that goes, how you speak to your child becomes their inner voice. So if you're always dogging your child and you're always ragging on your child, that becomes their inner voice. So when they're older and they start making decisions, they're going to hear you in their mind, like you know how you have the good angel and the bad angel on the shoulder? They're going to hear you in their mind, going off on them, yelling at them, telling them they're not good enough, saying how come you can't be like your brother and stuff like that. I do believe when it comes to kids, they each have their own creativity. They each have, points that they're good in and points that they're not good in. And when it's their time to shine, they will shine. The sun, this moon, it shines on the entire earth. There's no one on this earth that's missing sunlight when it's their turn. When it's our turn over here in the Western Hemisphere, we get our sunlight. When it goes down, we get the moon. The people on the other half of the world get the sunlight. No one's missing the sun. So that's what, when it comes to kids, you have to realize each child is going to shine when it's their time. And you don't have to make them compete. You don't have to put them against each other. You don't have to especially compare their skin tones. And you don't have to compare how they were built. They're all built differently, and you need to give them time to be creative in their own way.
So I remember, my sister's older than me, and I remember we both had this teacher, and my sister had her first, because she was in 5th grade, I was in 4th.
Yeah.
And my sister was the one that was good and got the great grades, and I was the one that was mischievous, the classroom clown. And after my sister had her, then the next year I had her. So she told my mother, she was like, well, I thought that, Trey would be like her sister because her sister was so good. And my mama had to stop her during the parent conference, and she told her, she said, that's the mistake that you made because you compared them. You're not supposed to compare kids. She's like herself and I am me. You understand what I'm saying? So never compare your kids. Because what you're going to do is call sibling rivalry between the two. And even after the parents pass away, they're going to distance themselves from each other. And this is crazy. When they have kids, their kids won't even speak and won't even know each other, really. They'll see each other in the store and walk past each other like they don't have the same grandmother. And that hurts.
I completely agree. A lot of times we always want to blame our kids for how they come out, but we want to leave out the fact that we had a part to play in how they were raised and how they navigate the world. And you are the central factor in your kids' life. So you have to treat each one of them differently, and you have to prepare them for the real world, and you can't compare them because that's the worst thing they can do. And then when you end up in a nursing home, or you end up in a hospital, or you're on your deathbed and you want to know, well, I got 8 kids, how come only 2 are coming to see me? You might want to consider, well, what's the reason the other 6 aren't? Sometimes we play a big role in the dysfunction of our kids, and we have to take that into account. So that's what I have to say about that. So with that being said, any final words?
Y'all, I just want you all to, can I say something real quick about videos? I always notice that every time when people make videos, they always talk about what the problem is, but they never ever come up with a solution. Like, we can all talk about Cindy and how her husband's cheating on her, but what's the solution to it? Maybe Cindy's husband, Jim, needs some type of counseling. Or maybe there's something that Cindy's doing that's causing Jim to cheat on her. Maybe Cindy got a secret friend. I think that as people, we need to start coming up with more solutions instead of just coming up with the problem. Because we can all talk about the problem all day. But at the end of that day, where's the solution? So make sure you be the solution to the problem.
Or offer solutions, or be able to point someone in a direction where there is a solution.
Yes.
Have your resources available, because sometimes people are going to come to you needing help, and you got to be ready to provide them that help. And like I said, if you don't have it, know where to go get it.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with therapy and talking
Not
to
at
counselors.
all.
We've been taught as a
all.
people that you're crazy if you got to go talk to a shrink.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong, because see, and especially with our community, we're always taught what happens in the house stays in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I get why people say that, because you don't want your business out, but sometimes that comes to a point where it starts hurting your family and hurting your kids because of secrets. And a lot of times people don't want to go to a therapist, but I encourage therapy because I believe mental health is very, very important. We always want to go to the doctor when we break our leg or when we have high blood pressure and forget about our mental health. And I think your mental health is just as important as your physical health. And you have a lot of mentally ill people that I feel could have been, corrected, or the behavior could have been corrected if they had a resource, if they had someone to go to and listen to them. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it ain't always your parents, it ain't always your siblings, and it ain't always a religious institution. Sometimes you may have to go outside that. You may have to come out of your pocket for your own well-being. We'll pay for everything else. We'll go to comedy shows. We'll have, Jordans lined up against our wall. We'll show off Gucci. We'll show off our Chanel purses and Chanel earrings and everything else. But then when it comes to our mental health, and you have a therapist who says, I charge anywhere from $75 to $120 an hour, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's too much.
And the first thing we holler, they won't get my money, but Jordan got it.
So we got to remember our mental health is key. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close this video out. We got a lot of things to do today. Any final words?
Hey, you all, go out and get your dreams. Stop just writing them down. Start living them. What's one of your dreams?
One of my dreams is to open up a mental health clinic where, we do have, doctors and stuff to, really get to the bottom of what's going on mentally. I want to have a community garden to teach kids how to garden. Wish we had, well, I guess it can't really say my dreams, but I kind of want to outsource my dreams. Have a STEM project, because I believe kids need more things than just sports all the time. They need to learn how to do science and build things and run restaurants and, stuff like that.
I totally agree with that. Because not all children are going to make it to the NBA. We had a youth conference, and I was a keynote speaker at that youth conference, and that's one of the things that I told the young people and the parents. Not all kids are going to make it to the NBA, and not all kids are going to be musicians and get a record label. So we have to start teaching our kids to accept failure and defeat sometimes, because you're not going to always make every shot that you shoot. Sometimes you're going to fail. So parents, teach your kids that it's okay to fail. But when you do, like I always tell my niece and nephew, get back up like you never failed.
Correct.
Hey y'all, I'm Trey, and that's the word from us on today.